coming on our Sisters of Leisure podcast this week. Today is a very special day because Jesus is alive and well, you all. And we have so much to live for and be so grateful for. So we want to just say thank you to Jesus for just dying for our sins, and so that we can live a great, prosperous, and beautiful life. My name is Tracy Cook, and I am one of the Sisters of Leisure, where we are living every day and seeking and understanding real events.
And I am Michelle Abdul Kumi. I'm the little sister, and today we are blessed to have Consuela Trammell on the show. She is the author of Love and Betrayal. She also is a friend because she helped Tracy and I get our LLC stuff started for our business. So we just really appreciate you, Consuela, and thank you for coming on. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm blessed, actually.
And
you look absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely can tell. So,
now this book, I'm sorry to cut y'all, but I've been reading this book and I'm like on the last 2 pages. But honey, my journey from purpose to pain, we all had some pain in our lives. Tell me a little bit what inspired you to write this book.
Well, of course, I was in a relationship for 7 years and 11 months, almost 8 years. And, through it all, we kind of had like some rocky times, but when it got down to the wire, he was ready to move forward so we can move in a house that he had built for us and that we can go ahead and get married. But it's just like something overcame me, after I put in my notice. I've been here in my home when I moved here, when God brought me here, 8 years, and so I don't know, I just felt uneasy and I couldn't sleep. And so I was like up just researching. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what am I looking for? And as I was looking, I just found something that I needed to know. And so I didn't move in, and I rescinded everything. And so,
you say you rescinded everything, so you just stopped your wedding and everything?
We just stopped everything. We didn't get married. We were supposed to get married August 17, 2019. I still have all my stuff, but I'm still getting married, but, God is it. And so I I just kind of stopped everything because God has allowed me just to see some things, and what I've learned even as I wrote the book, because what I did was I had already wrote a book like probably like 8 or 9 months prior to me releasing this book. But it's like the Lord was like, I need you to put this book out here first. And I'm like, okay, why, Lord? But I realized why, because this book have helped set a lot of people free. And so I'm going through that. It was like 7 years and 11 months. We know 8 is new beginning. 8 is new beginning. 7 is completion. And so God wouldn't let me go into that 8th year. And I'm like wondering why. But when I realized and researched and found what I found out, it was because I wasn't supposed to move into the house and I wasn't supposed to get married. And so I wrote that book to kind of just share my story, how that pain pushed me to my purpose. I was already living the purpose, but I wasn't living it fully. I wasn't fulfilling it, to the fullest. And so writing that book kind of helped me, get to where I needed to be. And I was like, okay, and God is so good, with me writing that book, because I have another one actually coming behind it. And that book is going to be like a series. It's not going to be a volume 1 and 2 for women and 1 for men,
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry to cut you off, but what were the signs that you saw to get you to
because I don't want to really give the book away, because if you've read it to the end, you will see what the signs were, what I saw. And I was like, just like, things that I need, even us as women, we always feel something. We have that thing that God have gifted us with, a woman's intuition. And so we always know that is true, but we kind of ignore the signs. You know what I mean? We kind of ignore the red flags. But then he just kept pressuring me to move into the house. And I'm like, okay, we haven't got married yet. And I'm not finna move into the house. I mean, I've never lived with a man that wasn't my husband, so I'm not finna start now. And even though we have been in a relationship all those years, we've never lived together. We've always lived separate. But he had the house built so that way we can move in the house, get married. But we were supposed to get married, then move in the house. But he wanted me to move in the house and then get married. So I'm thinking, okay, why, the sudden change?
Why was you scared though?
Why was I afraid to move in?
You gotta tell me the end. I don't care. I want to know.
No, but anyway, listen, wait a minute. But I want to know, hold on, I gotta switch it up. What made you, like, you are author, you decided to sit and write a book. So like, what was it this experience that you was like, I gotta write this down. This is gotta, or were you just like, what inspired you to do it? Is it the story that you're telling, or is it that you just had it wanting to be an author?
No, it was a story that I was telling because I had started the book a couple of years ago because I broke up with him about 100 times. And what I've learned even more, I did. And he said that used to make him afraid because he was afraid that I would leave. He was afraid that I would just leave the marriage. But I know now, what I know now is I've always known God is not the author of confusion. So what I know now is in that relationship with me going back and forth of breaking up, calling it off, breaking up, it's because I was double-minded. And a double-minded man, James says in First James, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And so I was unstable because I was kind of like back and forth, being tossed like the wind, And so I was like, okay, but moving in, I guess I was it was kind of fear moving in because I haven't lived with someone in 15 years since I was married to my kid's father. So I've been on my own, my friends was like, you don't need a man, you are a man, you do everything. And so I haven't never really lived with anyone. So I guess I was afraid too, and maybe I just wanted to find something. I know sometimes the enemy will put something there too, because over the years, when I assumed there was something, I could never find anything. But I found it the day before, the day after I put in my notice. I found what I needed to find, what I was looking for. And so it just made me bring the book out and just finish starting on the other chapters, because I was starting on, one by one. And so I kind of like just switched it up a little bit, and that right there. And it didn't break me. I think what I went through, most women would, because I hear women say, how did you get through it? I probably would have did this, or I probably would have did that, or I probably would have did this, I was like, well, I mean, God, it took God, it took me to dive deeper into his word and fast and pray for me not to break, not to cry, not to be upset. Because I was like, you know what? I'm a good woman. It's his loss, not mine, because, I do everything well. I love God. I'm a woman of God. I can cook. I can bake. I'm a hustler. I got so many attributes. I'm resilient. So I'm like, it's his loss. It's not mine, and it's so amazing because writing this book, it actually, I had him blocked and I hadn't talked to him, right? And so he has another phone. And so he reached out. And actually, I've talked to him. And so I let him see the book, and, he was proud of me, whatever. But of course, he's going through because he know what he messed up, what he lost, And like I said, I do feel like we meet people this is the thing, I feel like when God sends you someone, I feel like you can meet the right person, but at the wrong time. I really feel that. I feel like, some people, they have gotten into a relationship, they didn't work, and years later they rekindled, got married, and living happily ever after. I really feel like you can meet the right person, but the timing be off. And that's what I feel like with us at the time. The timing was off because God was building him and he was building me as well. And so, we just, I don't know, I guess sometimes I feel like we was like oil and water, but we was really, really close. Yeah, we was really, really close, like best friends. But writing that book, I wanted women to know that no matter what you go through, no matter what breakup, no matter how many years you've been with someone, never lose someone never lose yourself in someone. Because even as wives and as, girlfriends, whatever, we lose ourselves. And so even when you get married, you still have to have separate. You still have to have that relationship separate. He need his relationship and friends, and you need yours, but you are together. And so what I did was I felt like I lost myself. I felt like I lost myself in the relationship. You know what I mean? And so now I'm living. I'm loving me even more. I mean, I love me then, but I just felt like that us as women, we go hard for our soon-to-be husband or even our husbands, and we go so hard in building them and building their business and everything that we forget about us. And so and I think that's what happened with me. I was forgetting about me.
Let me ask you a question. So do you think because the way we were taught, the church has taught us that way, how to really be subservient to a certain, being so subservient that you do forget yourself. It's like you just kind of serve.
That's the role.
Yeah. It's like you be in your place,
battle,
seen and not heard, or
Yeah. And that's what I think. Yeah, and that's what I think, even in ministry, even if, we take a back seat a lot of times, even though like if our husband is a minister or whatever, and I feel like we take a back seat a lot of times. And even though we're submissive and allow them to lead us, I feel like a lot of times we take a back seat and we lose us in the process of supporting them. And I think that's what happened.
Because I think that's just taught.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where it's supposed to be.
Because it feels awkward.
And we do it with our children too. We do it with our family as well. We lose ourselves even in our kids. We forget about us. We want them to succeed. We want to build them, and we lose ourselves in that. And I think when we found ourselves, we realized, like, wow, now I know me. And writing that book, it made me realize who I am. It made me find me. It made me know what I will tolerate, what I won't tolerate, and what I love about me. And it just really made me realize that, that there's purpose in me. And and had I not went through that and experienced that, then I wouldn't even be able to even walk fully in that purpose. And so how can I help someone else break free from a soul tie, or break free, from bondage if I didn't go through it, you know what I mean? And so I had to write that book to share my experience so people can see I've been through that, or I'm going through that, but I can come out by the grace of God.
Yeah.
So you think bring me out.
So you think like moving forward, now that you know that you know that you know, do you feel like it was a curse broken and that you can teach your kids now, because they're 20 to 30, to be take care of yourself, know what you like, know what you dislike, make sure you are full before you try to keep pouring into someone else and you just drain dry.
Yeah. Right. Live on purpose. That's what I said. If I, whoever he is, because he's somewhere, he has to be living in purpose and living in healing, or not in healing, but living to healing on purpose. So that's important in life. And that's something a skill that we don't really aren't taught, really.
Yeah, and he's learning that because, like I said, talking with him, his sister is a minister, so she's helping him with that because he wasn't taught. Like all the men in his life, he lost his father when he was 5. His stepfather wasn't a good role model. So he said he was never taught. Like he wasn't never taught to really wear his feelings on his sleeve. He was never taught, to be able to express, he listened to what others say. And then he was also caught up in pride. And so he listened. So he wasn't never really taught. He knew he loved, but he didn't really know how. You know what I mean? He really didn't know how.
Sounds like a relationship may could kindle from this. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like you say, you may meet at the wrong time. And things change because people change. God has the power to change anything and anybody.
He does.
So you have to think about that kind of stuff, because it's not like you got abused or spoken recklessly to and things. You have to really keep your heart and mind open to sometimes receiving something. I don't know. I'm not a therapist or anything like that.
Or a matchmaker.
Yeah, I'm not.
But everything like except for what he done, in there, he was everything, really. Like, he was like my best friend, and he never abused me. Like, he never disrespected me, never called me out my name, and he never raised his voice at me. So he was just, I mean, he was a good guy. He just, I won't say he wasn't, which of course my kids and my family, no one seems to like him now, which I get it. But he just did that one thing, and then I finally asked him, I said, what made you do that? And he told me, and I was like, wow. And I was like, so what were your intentions? You were going to move me in this house, and then you was going to do this, like what I told my kids that he was going to do. That's exactly what he said out his mind. I didn't even tell him what I thought. I let him say it. And I said, oh my God, that's exactly what I told my children. That's what you was going to do. And now you're trying to fix he's trying to right his wrong. What he done, he's trying to fix it now. And he told, his sister and everybody, and they was like, well, you just got to follow your heart. And he was like, well, my heart is with you. He was like, I said, well, why would you hurt me? I said, I would never have done that to you. And he was like, I know. He said, well, my heart is with you, and I was just like, I mean, I have to forgive him. And so it taught me, even writing this book, how to forgive, because at first I wasn't there. I really wasn't. And months later, my healing took place. Even though writing the book, I did not write from a hurt place. I was healed, but talking to him now, I realized, like, wow, I actually feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow, and I had to forgive him, because he see that God had really, really been blessing me. And not only that, he realized, dang, no matter what I done, she's still the same Consuela with the same pure heart, where she can sit here and conversate with me and forgive me,
Yeah.
And I feel like me forgiving him taught him something as a man. I really do. I just really felt like it taught him something, because I really do. I feel like
it probably did, because
yeah.
there's a lesson in everything.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
you have to
and
learn
I think
from
it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I'm gonna change this up just a tad.
Okay.
Because you wrote this book, and it's an absolutely beautiful book. If anybody can see it, very nice book. How did you get to connect to get a book beautifully published like this? What did you do?
What was the process?
What was the process of that?
Well, when I started writing the other book, because I wrote another book, which was preference over purpose, how I chose my preference over my purpose. And that's the book God said, no, I need you to put this one first, Love and Betrayal. So I'm like, okay, Lord, because I was writing also letting people know how a lot of times we'll choose our preference over God's purpose. A lot of us do that. We'll choose what we prefer, not knowing that we're doing that until we really search it. And so what I did was, even when I wrote that, I was actually connected to another women ministry, and just really out there when the pandemic hit. I went through like a 21-day prayer boot camp, and watched a lot of revivals on here, and it's so amazing. So as I watched through a lot of revivals, just being connected with people that I didn't even know, some people didn't even know I was watching the revivals, I stumbled across the publisher, and it was so meant, because he was a speaker one night at one of the revivals, and it was Bishop McGill, and he's a bishop, and I found out that he was a publisher, and so I reached out to him, and so I didn't get no response, and so I thought I didn't get no response. So let me tell you how good God is. He found me on Facebook. It seems like everybody found me on Facebook, and I'm not a social media savvy, because I'm so glad I really put it up, because so many people is finding me on Facebook, even though I don't do it as often. But he found me on Facebook, and he inboxed me and asked me, did I get his message? And I was like, well, no. And I said, well, let me check. And it went to my spam, and it had been sitting in spam. And from there we connected, and immediately once we connected, and I told him, about my book, whatever, he was just so adamant about helping me. And as soon as I sent him the transcript, he sent me my cover like a couple of days later. And then after a couple of days later, he said, you could go ahead and start pre-selling this book. And I'm like, really? Already? And so he said, go ahead and do a 30-day pre-sale. So I started doing a 30-day pre-sale, and God is so good, because I had the book before the 30 days. And I kept saying, Lord, now I don't sold this book. I'm going to need these books before, 30 days. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to take these people money. I don't have their merchandise. So I reached out to him, and I was like, where's my books? The books were supposed to actually be in after the 30 days, but it wasn't nobody but God. I got those books 2 weeks early.
Wow.
And I was
That
able
is
to fulfill all the orders. And so he's my publisher now. So I didn't have to do anything but pay my money and send him the transcript. He does all the covering. He does my launching on his radio station. He has a All Nations radio station that's worldwide, that's international. So he does all of that. He does my publishing. He does my Amazon. I don't do anything but send him my transcript. So I don't have to pay my money. Yeah.
Awesome. That is wonderful.
That is wonderful.
And he's a minister. Like I said, he's a minister of all nations. McGill Ministries worldwide, and he's a publisher as well. So I don't have to do anything but send my transcript.
So can you say the women that are going through your similar situation?
I would tell them to search, seek God, because me seeking God, because I kept asking God, show me. If I don't supposed to move in this house, show me. Because I did not feel unease. I did not feel at ease. I couldn't sleep. I said, show me. And I looked and I searched and then, and I found. So I said, just show me. And God did. And so anybody that's going through, I would tell them that God is actually your everything. I mean, he's a healer. He's a deliverer. He's everything. And without him, I'm nothing. And so it's so amazing because he's your strength. The Bible teaches us that the joy of the Lord is our strength. That is so true. That is, it's not cliche, it's true. God is your strength. And if you really, really dig deeper into the word of God and dig and pray and fast, you have so much peace that passes all understanding. He will keep your heart and your mind through Christ Jesus. That is true. The word of God and the scripture is true. So any woman that's going through, I would tell them, go to God, but don't just give him half of the pieces. You got to take all of them to him. You got to give him all the pieces.
Yeah.
All the pieces. And
that's the word.
That is.
You have to give him all the pieces, and God will. He will just put that thing together. In his word, it said, cast your cares upon him, for he cares for us. When you look up the word cast means throw them. So you throw all your stuff upon him, for he cares for you. And so God will carry you through it all. Because some people are like, oh, I would have broke down, I would have did this, I would have clowned, I would have did it. I said, that's what the flesh would have done. But the spirit wouldn't allow me to. The spirit wouldn't allow me to.
Praise the Lord for that.
Yeah, the spirit wouldn't allow me to.
Thank you for the spirit of the Lord.
Yeah. Because people are like, girl, I would have this and I would have been at that church. I'd have mailed a book. I'd have been. And the flesh wanted to, and it's so funny because the flesh, and it's like God keeps saying, stop listening to the flesh, stop listening to what people say. And I tell people that's what people in the world would do. But women and men of God don't act that way. We act holy, for he is holy. We don't act in the flesh. We can't act in the flesh. We can't go out there sabotaging anything. No matter how bad a person hurts you, the Bible said, God said in his word, he said, save room for me to get angry. He said, vengeance belonging unto me. I will repay, said the Lord. That is what God said he will repay. And so we can't go around here seeking vengeance on people and trying to repay evil for evil, because the Bible does not teach us that.
It's not even worth it. Now that I know, because I've worn myself out trying to get back, I can admit that. You know what I mean? Just foolishness. But it's just not worth all of that. Because like you said, God said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So let him do his job, and I'm going to step out of the way and rest and have peace.
Because you know what? His vengeance is a whole lot better than ours.
I know.
It's a whole lot better than ours.
And he can handle it. So basically he's telling you to let me handle this. However he handles it. So don't keep dipping in it, because you're just going to mess up what I'm trying to do. So I just thank God for him and what he is doing, to help you in your life and all the things that he's done for your life and ours. It's a blessing.
God is amazing. And I tell people, do I look miserable? Do I look like, do I look broken? Do I look broken? No, because that's God. That's God. That's his spirit, And I'm telling you, when you forgive, oh my God, the healing is so awesome when you forgive. When you forgive, you can smile again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that's why I'm smiling again. I'm living for me. You know, I'm living for me. Because I've forgiven, I've healed. And so forgiveness was for me anyway. So however he's carrying it or whatever he's, feeling, you know what I mean? Even if they don't apologize, because what I learned, it's hard for men to apologize. They'll say it in so many words, they're sorry, but then you don't actually hear I'm sorry come out of their mouth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's just what I don't know what it is for men. I guess some men, I don't want to put them all in that same
Yeah,
box.
well, I got a husband. I know.
But they are sorry, but they don't really know how to say it. But they do it in so many ways and say it in so many words that they're sorry, and like I said, I can just see him being released. As when I was conversating with him, I can just look at him and see that me telling him I forgive him, I can see just that release, him being released. Yeah, I can just see him being released. Like, wow, like, you know what I mean? He like, I can just tell, like, wow. He's like, wow, she's forgiving me. And she's still the same Swaley, and I just saw it. I can just see the him being released from that.
And that's a blessing, because sometimes I feel like, we walking in so much pain or guilt, maybe. And shame that he was like, oh, I did her dirty. And so he was going through all of this in his mind, because he know what he did was wrong. But you're having peace on the other side, but he's still struggling. Oh, I can't believe I did this to her. And then once he was reconnected with you, he was able to see that you weren't even
on that, like
even you weren't even coming for it. It's like whatever. And that helped him. So you're just being a light. That is, God is using you as a light to help him. And anyone else that's done you wrong, because God gonna use you as that light to help them people that did you wrong. They're gonna be looking so sad, but we're gonna love them anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna love him anyway, absolutely. And I would see him in passing. He would see me too. And he said he just couldn't stop thinking about it. He couldn't stop thinking, because when I found out whatever, I just deleted, blocked, and shut everything down. So he wasn't able to reach out to me for almost a year, And so then after that, like I said, just talking with him, whatever, he was, telling me the times he saw me in passing, and I was like, I know, because I was right beside you, and I had like I didn't see him. I was just like, it kept on going, but it was times, but I was just like, and I just looked and smiled, and just kept on moving. So he saw regardless, like, I guess he was like suffering, like, dang, I'm suffering. But every time I see her, she just got the smile on her face. Because like I said, because I'm living. Once I forgave, that helped me to become a better person. That helped me to be able to love me more. Not only love me more, but it actually helped me, like I said, push me into the purpose, because now I'm losing the weight. Now I'm hiring I never hired a trainer. I'm doing the things that I love. I love helping people, with the personal development, helping people create the LLCs. I'm living. You know what I mean? I'm living. I'm taking trips, I once upon a time I used to be afraid to get on a plane. Now I get on that plane, and fly like it ain't nothing, by myself. I pull up at the airport and park by myself and get on the plane, know. And so I'm living. I'm living life,
Because you know what?
Because
you living, because you got God on your side. So why not?
Why not?
Why you not living? You got him. And we need to stop focusing on the man and the person. We just focus on him. We can live the best life you can ever imagine. So that is truly a blessing.
But before we go though, like, Consuela, so what's your social media handle? How people can get in contact with you for your book?
The book is on Amazon, but I also have my personal development coaching business on Facebook. You can also find it through Google. And then I also have my website, which is Trammell.com. So you can go to my website and get the book, as well as any coaching services, mentorship program, anything like that.
Yeah, because you helped us out to get our LLC, and we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, and she helped you one-on-one. She is great. She's truly amazing. And we just appreciate you so very, very, very much.
Thank you.
You are really happy. So please you can find Consuela on Facebook. She does have is it Queendom?
I do have the Queen's Academy, which is a private group.
Okay, Queen's Academy
for us. And then I have the Queen's Academy personal development and business coaching, which is on Facebook as well. So I have that,
Okay.
So even though it's Queen's Academy, I still help guys too, because I have
Yes.
some guys on here that I've helped, that
Okay.
I've helped, establish the LLC, help trademark their business, and just kind of help do a lot of things with that as well.
Okay, so we love you. We love
you guys
everybody. And we're so happy that you all came to watch our podcast, Sisters of Leisure. We love you all, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of the week.
Yes.
Make it great.
Yeah, do something for you.
Yes, wake up and win, because you got this. Whatever you want to do, you can do it.
Yes, you can.
Love you guys.
Love
Thank
you
you,
too.
Consuela.
You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
You too.